Hey guys, Rexasaur here and welcome back to the Red Emperor, episode 5. So when we left off we reformed the faith and well, we have a very big kingdom right now, and our goals will be to try and get ourselves our empire this episode. So as you can see, we only need a small portion left of the empire. In fact, we have about 70 odd percent. So we don't actually need that much, 72% to be exact. Don't need that much more, which is fantastic. So we're going to start converting our provinces to the correct faith. As you can see, actually quite a lot of it is unreformed or Slavic in our country, which is a very big part of the new regime. My divine patron, King Zvimbudas, Lord of Lithuania and Poland, true leader of the Removans, and Lord of all Slavs, I write to thee to warn of a great cataclysm upon our lands. For on the night before the 18th of this month, a gigantic roar came from the earth, and the fires of the infernal depth came forth. There is now a sizable hole in the land, and so I call upon your eternal wisdom for an answer. So, a very strange event happens where the earth shakes, basically, and a sizable hole basically appears in one of our provinces, also called the Gate of Hell, because no one has any idea how it got there. It basically, historically, most likely an earthquake or a small volcano, so that's what they're having to deal with, and that's what Zvimbudas is trying to deal with as well. So he's not entirely sure what he's going to do, but he has to solve it somehow. In the end, we decide to pick to basically, sort it out by... I thought this was the right event, but it's the next one. I had to sort something out in that time, which is why there was a small little pause and gap. But basically, I close it by filling it with stones, or trying to. There's a 90% chance that it'll work, 10% that it doesn't. That I have had this event before, and the 10% doesn't work. You have to sacrifice someone, and luckily it works. So that's fantastic. We get a nice little fancy things. So after closing the Gate of Hell, the Gate of Hell, we call our first ever Holy War. And because we've reformed the faith, we can now call Holy Wars, which instead of taking one province, we now can take a whole duchy, which is fantastic. So we're going to do that. We're going to go for the duchy. However, because we're calling a holy war, it's against a faith, in this case the Slavic faith. People of the same faith as the people we're attacking can just straight away join them with no declaration or anything. So we're having to fight the rest of the Slavs, but luckily we kind of own all the Slavs, so it's not really a problem. As you can see, I called our holy order down. Absolutely adore our holy order, and so we're going to win this war pretty easily. Holy orders are also fantastic because it means that we can use them in holy war straight away. It's fantastic. So I get rid of all my levies and all that so that I don't have to pay anything. Also, my city vassals are kind of annoyed at the cost of the taxes, and I decide, after quite a bit of debating with myself and looking at the laws in general, I decide I'm actually okay with allowing them to just get it. I could bribe them, but I kind of want to keep the money to form the empire when that happens. So the issue is I can't change the law, but that's okay. Also, we get a nice little event that allows us to build a trading house, which will get us a lot of money in the future, which is cool because it's a 50 gold loss that I didn't have to pay via the bribe, and I can just keep. Also, the AI does something very odd at this point. The AI keeps spawning armies and then just throwing them straight at me, even though I'm vastly superior in numbers and quality, which is very strange. It's never ever done that ever before to me. So I win this war basically because the AI is slightly buggy, which is very strange. So I'm just going to assault the holding at this point, whilst also getting armies thrown at me. This is quite a large army, and they're just going straight at me, even though I severely outnumber them, which is strange. It's never happened before. But that means that we win the war much quicker than intended. and I give that away. I then decide to go for Bohemia. It's one of the big Catholic, one of the big Slavic holdings that are left, and so we're just going to go straight for a holy war. We've just done this holy war, so they're already got lots of men dead. None of the other Slavic countries have men also to defend them, so we're going to call the our men again. We're not going to call the Holy Order this time. We're just going to call our levies, since our levies got to regenerate during using the Holy Order last time. So we're going straight for Bohemia. Because of the Slavic defensive penalty that I'm having to take, the supply limit is massively reduced, so I'm having to split my not very large army of 2,000 down into two 1,000 blocks. About 1,200 actually blocks. But yeah, as you can see on that map mode, I've also amassed wealth, but we're actually at war with like 3 provinces. It's barely anything. Also, I get some more money, which is fantastic. We're hoarding a lot of money. We got the amass wealth ambition done, which is fantastic. I have never done that, really. It takes a long time. And then we win, take Bohemia. So I'm going to do this duchy, which I can't actually make a duchy yet because he's at war. I can't usurp the duchy. Is that I'm going to give it to the church. I'm going to give it to this person, who is Priestess Denalia. She's going to be the basically the Duchess of Bohemia, but this will make her basically a High Priestess. Not on the same level as High Priestess Saul, who is our basically our version of the Pope. Then going to declare war on Kalisz to unite my final holding in central Poland. We've almost got all of Poland. I think after taking this we might have all of Poland straight away, which will be fantastic, and will, you know, allow us to be on our way to get in the Empire, which is great. As you can see as well, the Polish have a very small army, really, but they decide to just surrender, so that's really cool. I then decide and want to go to war for the rest of Pomerania, so that requires going on that. And this little bug, it's not a bug at all actually. You can see that army is sitting on that, and basically what is going on is that that army is not able to siege that province because it has a massive, and I mean a massive, levy garrison, which is incredible. It's like got about 2,000 men, so I'm having to basically get loads. So if I want to siege it, I have to put my men on that, but because those men are already sieging it, I will just join their siege, and basically that means that, I don't know, it just takes forever. But I join up my armies at this point, trying to sort out this war. However, the country is going to be struck with quite a hard piece of news. In fact, at this point and moment, we get news that our son Cyrillus has just died. We are gathered here today in this solemn time to remember the greatness of Cyrillus the Younger, grandson of our forebear Cyrillus of Lithuania, and son to our great and noble king Zivimbudas, Lord of all Slavs. I knew Cyrillus well, as, I am sure, the whole of the realm did. He was a man whose original destiny was to take over the line of succession, the heir to the throne, but he did not believe that this should be his fate. No, Cyrillus was one with the gods, going from village to village, town to town, talking to the Slavic peoples, opening their eyes to the faith. Of course, we all know that it was he who led the way towards the unity of our faith. It was he who pushed for reformation, and it was he, in the light of the divines, who converted province after province to the rightful path. The world was blessed with his presence, and all know that the gods will welcome him to their table as one of their own. A huge loss to the realm. The firstborn of the king is now dead, but it's not too much like of an issue succession wise and gameplay wise, but losing such a amazing character, like, I don't think a lot, well, I haven't really shown how much of an amazing person Cyrillus the Younger was, because he had an amazing amount of piety, had really good learning, and he converted like 7 provinces this episode. But I didn't feel like just saying, oh, I convert this province wasn't really the biggest. So as you can see, as I siege this area, that it's going to be a very long time before I siege it. Also, during the siege, I get a nice little text, which leads to basically the massive snowball of this episode. My city, basically some of my vassals are going to revolt. This is straw number 1, basically the small snowballs just happened. So they're going to revolt, which is great. I mean, it's okay, it's a very small revolt, and just, you know, go into focus on getting this thing done though. And then I get this small little event where I need to pay some gold. So focusing, so basically what happened is that settlement was sieged, the people sieging it won, and then now they're attacking me. So then Carpathia declares war on me, and I'm there like, oh shit, no, this is like so much more than it is. So I have to send off some dudes to take care of a small army, to then go back to Stettin, because I kind of want to finish that war, and someone from the north wages war on me, this time for Plock. And I'm there like, Jesus Christ, how many wars is that? 4 wars right now, one of which I instigated, 3 of which people instigated on me. And I'm just trying to sort this out. It's like, oh my god, so many fronts. Let's do this one at a time. So my idea now is, they're going for Pskov, I think I said Plock, but I'm going to try and get Stettin. I want Stettin. And then the Norse come. It's ridiculous. Not the Norse, well not Estonia, but somewhere next to it, Estonia. They want war. They also want Pskov. And they're like, no, stop. Jesus Christ, I can't, 5 wars, I can't do this. There's just so many. So I'm waging this. I finally win. Finally get rid of this. It's like, oh my god, like, we got this sorted out. This is amazing. Right. And then, that's right, it doesn't finish there. Now the Norse attack. A Norse host, massive host, wants to take a whole duchy. It's just too much for me to handle at this point. The Norse as well? This is the final straw. We shall not stand as the heathen strike down our brothers and sisters of the faith. The Tengri heretics have yet to strike a blow, but if we don't act now, it would just be a matter of time. Right, ready the men. We will help Zivimbudas again. His pious reign deserves our help. Hopefully, the Catholics will stay out of this. So, the Holy Order has to be raised because there is just too much at stake at this point. 6 wars I've had to face. 1 has been done by now. Also, calling the Holy Order has meant we've dropped so much piety that we now have to, we can now get the Ambition Paragon of Virtue, which is something that just usually doesn't happen. I never call a Holy War so much ever, but we have so many enemies right now, and it's not really our fault. They just sort of gathered up. I'm guessing that waging war has left us kind of weak because our levies are quite weak. We turned to feudalism, which is kind of weak during the transition period. But anyway, we get rid of our host very, very quickly, which is great because hosts are ridiculous, and we've got him in jail. Actually gives us a lot of money, but because of the amount of wars, I wasn't really focusing on getting money. We then get a peasant revolt, you know, just to add to that. I actually make a very big mistake in this peasant revolt because I send my men to sort of gather them up. You'll see later, I'll show that later, but you'll see the mistake I do. But I'm just trying to sort out all these wars. I'm aiming up north. I'm totally leaving my civil war happening. I don't think they can tick the score up to 100 for a very long time. But having 12,000 men is really, really helpful right now. Having that Holy Order has just saved me so hard. I don't think I could have done this without him. So here I make my mistake. I'm attacking the peasant revolt, assuming that they're going to be of the faith. Turns out they're a peasant revolt to be independent or something like that. Because as you can see, I'm not actually using the 12,000 men. I'm just using the 1,000-ish that I have from my levies. I actually managed to win that battle, and that was so close because I would have lost so many men in that stage. And as you can see, all my things are ticked green, which is fantastic. I'm just basically starting to win, which is fantastic. And I'm just there like panicking in my head, just going, oh my god, so many wars. I hope it just doesn't like destroy me completely. I've gone so far. Zivimbudas has come so far. And then I look down. You're going to see my reaction here. I look down, it's like, oh, this is very yellow all of a sudden. And I'm just like, how... Carpathia is orange. How is this yellow? And then I zoom out. Khazaria took Carpathia. Khazaria is now the biggest single country ever. And I panic so hard. Look at, yeah, this is me just panicking so damn hard. Lord Zivibudas of Lithuania, defender of the removing faith and rightful ruler of the Slavs, I come bringing forth words of peace and prosperity between you and my great Kagan Barbek, Lord of the Plains, ruler of the steppes, Khan of Khans. We cannot stop our newly acquired vassal from continuing his war with you, but can say that once the issue is resolved, we promise everlasting peace between yourself and my Khan. I leave you with the personal words written here in the hand of the Khan himself, and my thanks for the hospitality I have received since arriving here. So an emissary from the Khan, but Khazari is still on our doorstep, and anything could go wrong. So I'm going to focus now on getting some money apparently, and also getting rid of this damned rebellion finally. First off, as it's down south, I'm going to take care of Carpathia, who is still existent. This time I think only just a kingdom though, no longer an empire. So it's basically I think just the king of, well, the Khan of Hungary who's taken it. So now I sort out most of my issues with the rebels, but of course something's always going to go wrong. Whenever something goes good, something's going to go wrong. So I'm just going to sort out basically most of my issues with the southerners, and then I'm going to hope nothing bad happens. First off, however, obviously before it actually happens, we've got some wars to fight, we've got some Carpathians to destroy and try to get rid of, but I mean it doesn't go so well, because out of nowhere, really annoyingly, our king dies. Zivibudas is finally dead. He reigned a very long time, but I just, this was the final straw. We now have a new king, King Valerius, and I mean it's finally happened. Zivibudas is dead, we're still at war, but what a ruler. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but Poland has just formed. I have no idea how Poland's just formed. I've checked, like, technically it should never have happened. But what happened is that Valerius gained Lithuania, and Cyrillus's, the younger's, firstborn got the duchies in Poland and just formed the Kingdom of Poland out of his own will. So I'm going to form the Duchy of Bohemia and give it to the High Priestess Danila, who will become the Archpriestess, or the first ever Archpriestess that we have. And we're going to have to sort out our problems, but that is what we're going to be doing next time. Sorry to leave it off at such a pivotal moment, but that leaves you wanting more, and that's what I want. So will we be able to get Poland back? Will we be able to form our Red Empire? Find out next time. If the reign of Zivibudas had started off badly, it had certainly ended badly too. War on all fronts, despite the Catholics being too occupied with a Carling succession crisis to take up a juicy opportunity, religious and feudal civil strife, as well as a new border with the greatest Khan since Attila, Barbek. Not only did the new king Valerius have to fight off the wars his father could not live to finish, but also due to a long-forgotten law, had to regain Poland, which was now fully independent and Slavic. Safe to say, only a Palemonatis could succeed in stabilizing what Valerius must have seen the biggest challenge of his life.